Hi everyone. It's something that I see all too often, not necessarily from instructors who are in my area, although it is pretty common with some, but it's something that I see online all the time. Instructors grabbing the steering wheel. Now, don't get me wrong, it is one of our ways to manage risk. You should have an ability, if you're an instructor, to see things and correct things. But some instructors who post online do it constantly. And I'm going to try and help fix this today. So I've got the eye tracking glasses again on today to help me explain, and this is something that I've mentioned on the channel a number of times, but there's been a few comments recently that people didn't know what I was talking about. It's the left knee and right knee stuff. Now, bear with me. I'm going to get to the other instructors constantly interfering with the steering wheel all the time shortly. But for now, I'm just going to give people an idea of how you can judge the width of your car. Now, it's not where your left knee points. It's where your left knee is tracking. And you've got to move your car to do this. So I'm going to have a little check around, and I'm just going to head up these bays in front of me, keep it nice and straight. And my left knee seems to be tracking in the middle of this bay. And I'm changing my focus from a little close to then up at the top as well. Just going to go a little further forward, just so I am fully in the bay and I'm not stuck out the back. So you can tell where the middle of your vehicle is by lifting your eyes up and seeing where your left knee is tracking. That's the first thing. But that's not judging the width, that's just putting your vehicle in the middle of the space. To do that, you actually need to know where your right knee is. And your right knee, in a similar manner to we've just explained the left knee, the right knee, where it tracks, is approximately where your right wheels are. So let's do the same. My right knee seems to be tracking just inside this white line. No problems. The left knee's still in the middle. And I'm just having a little look underneath my mirror at that white line to judge how far forward I am. Don't think my instructor would recognise me there because I haven't got my roof box on. And did he catch me? No, incognito now. Yeah, I haven't got me number plate on either. In any case, hopefully you understood what I was doing there. Left knee in the middle, right knee close towards that line to my right hand side. And also, don't forget what I said about the line underneath. That's going to play a part to my explanation shortly. So, we know where the middle is, we know where the right side is. Let me just ask this. If your car's in the middle of this bay, and you know where your wheels are, and you can perceive with your right knee that you're maybe a foot away from that line, how far are you away from the other line? And it's pretty simple. It's the same. It must be a foot. And that's how you should be trying to judge where your car is. So where does this lead into the instructors constantly moving the steering wheel away? Well, this ability to judge where your car is from your knee's position allows you to pick your eyes up and watch what's happening out there, as opposed to constantly looking down at the line to the left and the line to the right and the line to the left and the line to the right. You get the idea. And another thing, which is really important, if I keep leaned up here and looking at this line to the left, it looks as though, to me, it's angled. We know it's not, but it looks as though it is. And if I think that it's angled, I'm likely to steer away from it. And the same goes from that line down there. It looks as though it's angled. So I call it zigzagging. Students, they lift their chin up, they look down at the bonnet, and they're constantly zigzagging away from that line and then away from that line, and you never actually point straight. How does that then affect us when we drive? Well, we see things late and things become more reactive. And this is really common. And this is why instructors have to push pupils away all the time. However, if the instructors did teach this left and right knee stuff at an early stage, these things aren't as much of a problem. Don't get me wrong, you're still on occasions going to have to push a student away if they may be target fixating at one particular thing. But it doesn't happen to me and my pupils in the way that I see it happening to other instructors. And quite shortly, I am going to do a video on this same sort of subject to show people how this fits into the 10 most common reasons why people fail driving tests. Just going back to what I was saying about this line underneath the mirror. This is another thing which causes students to look down over this bonnet. It's because they can't judge the length of the car. The nearest piece of tarmac that I can see from here is at the end of that bay. But if the line's just underneath my mirror, that means the front of my car is approximately at that line. So that nearest piece of tarmac is about a car length, but people think that it's much, much closer than that. And this is again another thing which causes people to constantly look down there. And that's another thing, what I was talking about the zigzags, that causes the instructors to constantly have to intervene. Instructors are under a fair bit of pressure to get people off and going, but they do push people on into situations where they haven't got the base skills in place. Here, my left knee's on the left side of the road, and I know my right knee's got a fair bit of space to the centre line, so I've got the same with the white lines. I've got to come round the parked vehicles, but again, I'm just thinking, stick my left knee in the middle of the space and I've reduced risk. I'm going to stick my left knee back to the correct side of the road, making sure that my right knee is just inside this central line, and I'm pretty obviously going to hold back behind this guy. So yeah, going back to what I was saying about instructors feeling pressurized, I understand that. But if you let a student go out onto the road without having these base skills, they're going to be overwhelmed with the steering constantly because they can't do it. They cannot position their car. I'm just looking up and I know exactly where my car is. I don't have to search down here on the floor. I know exactly where my car's positioned. And that then allows my eyes to come up and see the other things, the more important things. So, like I've said, I'm shortly going to be doing a video where I look at this subject and let people know and understand how it translates into the reasons why people fail the driving test. But for now, I'm just going to give you a quick little idea of how it works and how I don't have to be looking down here all the time. Okay. As I'm going around this bend, it leads into steering as well. As I'm going around the bend, my left knee just tracks and just stays around in the middle of the road. Here, I can see my left knee's tracking in the middle. My right knee's got plenty of space that side, so it means I've got plenty of space that side. I can see the parked cars up ahead. The gap is a little narrow, so I know I've got to head out. And I'm going to put my right knee quite close to that line, and it gives me a little bit more space from them. Left knee back to the middle. So you can constantly judge the space you have just by looking up the road and perceiving where your knees are tracking. It's not where they're pointing. It's not like that. I think some people do struggle with this a little. If you're struggling sorting your knees out, you can also use your arms or your shoulders. So here, I'm going to stick my left arm right down the middle of the road, about there, and I know where my right arm and shoulder is because that's just inside the line. Happy. So, going around a left bend, if we go back to what I said before, you track and follow your left knee to follow the shape of the bend. When you go around a right hand bend, you again follow the inside of the corner, but that's then your right knee or your right shoulder going around things, because you follow the inside round to the right. It's the central line to the central line that you're generally following. And again, this is another factor to it because people don't use the car in this manner. They're searching for where the front points all the time. They then can't steer. It's not just the positioning. So here, I'm looking around over there and I'm making sure my right knee goes around that central line. Left knee's now in the middle and I can look up and not go through the red lights like the private hire did.
The links are always in the description to buy your VFO dashcam. Use the code Ashley to save yourself 5%, or use the code 4James and donate your 5% saving to the charity I'm running the London Marathon for.
So the next time you see a video from a driving instructor online and they're constantly pushing the steering wheel away, don't blame the pupil, because the pupil hasn't been taught the correct things. They've been pushed onto things too fast before they've actually got the key core base skills in place to sort that out of their own accord. What are your lessons like? Does your instructor constantly push you away with the steering wheel or move the steering wheel? And if so, let me know in the comments how that makes you feel. Sorry, just had to concentrate on that little lane change. Left knee now, back to where? Middle of the left lane. And a last little point before I say goodbye, this left knee stuff and thinking where the left knee should be all the time pulls you back to this left side. So it also helps with lane discipline. Keep safe everyone, I'll see you soon.